This is Studio 22A, and today we'll be making this quick and easy render and collage hybrid using both Lumion and Photoshop. So we'll just jump right into this render that's going on in the background. As you can see, my Lumion has two separate images being rendered right now. So this was because the palm tree on the far right is actually out of the frame for the first image I'm rendering. So I took a second one just to make sure that I can catch that palm tree in its entirety. If you want to avoid doing this, I would just suggest making sure that all trees or all elements of your render fit within one frame. That'll make things a lot easier for you once we move into Photoshop. So yeah, I'll just let this render off in the background here, and while that's happening, I'll take the time to mention that this is actually part one of a 3-part series where I'll be taking this exact same render and creating 3 separate collaged images using Photoshop. So now, having our renders from Lumion, we can import all of those separate images into Photoshop. And you can already see that I've started here and have already begun photocompositing the 2 separate renders together to get the entire palm tree in my canvas. To really keep this narration short, I'm basically just gonna mask out the sky, apply the different render channels over top of the render just to kind of add some depth and contrast to the image, and as well as improve the reflections. Then we're gonna override the sky, and in this image I'm gonna try and keep it simple, so it's probably just gonna be a solid white color with a high contrasting sun. So you'll see that in just a moment. And I want to note here that although this image is meant to be really simple, and the focus of it is really to try and create a quick narrative around your renders, pay attention to your light source. A little mistake that I'm doing right here is that the sun is actually behind the building when clearly the light source of the render is in front of it. For the purpose of this render, I don't think it's a big deal, but if you guys want to add that extra touch of realism, then definitely look out for that in your own renders. Now we can just do the hue and saturation layer. So what I'm going for here is an image with earthy tones to really complement the color of the sun that I chose. So you'll see that I'm gonna desaturate all the blues, all the greens, and all the purples, magentas. And I'm really gonna influence the yellow hues more towards the orangey red side of things. And I think I'm leaving the red just as it is. Now I'll just add in some entourage. I think I'll start with just adding some birds to add a little more visual interest into the sky. I think it's a little too simple right now. I think I'll be adjusting the perspective of the birds, and then maybe also, duplicating some, putting them further back to kind of create an illusion of depth. And then we'll override the actual color of the birds by filling them in with a brownish color that we'll take out of the scene directly. And now I'll just add some quick illustration people that you can find yourself on Google or Pinterest. It's not that hard to find these illustration people online. Some of them come with solid backgrounds like you'll see right now, and you'll just have to mask those out yourselves. Usually it's pretty easy. And the other thing I'm trying to do here with these people is, number one, match the colors of the scene, and also match sort of the vibe or the mood of the scene. It's a tropical environment. The colors are very earthy, so it should feel like a very hot day. And I think the entourage or the people that you fill the scene with should reflect that. So really pay attention to that. It's those details that really make this type of image. So yeah, we're basically done. There you have it. That was a super quick and easy render collage hybrid, and I think it took just about 5 minutes. So if you're interested in learning more, there's going to be 2 more videos out, so keep an eye out for those. Thanks.